top storyteller for the evening, Paul!
I was born the firstborn son of a firstborn son in Providence, Rhode Island. And when I was born, my grandparents thought I was the greatest thing ever. I know this because every weekend they would come pick me up, as soon as my mom would let them, and take me back to their house for the weekend. Now, they only spoke French in their house because they were from a little town north of Montreal. And they just treated me wonderfully. So much so that every Saturday morning when I woke up, my Mime and Pipe, she would put a little crown on my head and she would anoint me king for the day. Once I figured out what that was, I was very excited. It meant that if I wanted waffles for breakfast, we had waffles. If I wanted to go to the amusement park, we went to the amusement park. It was good to be me. I was in heaven. This went on for 6 years. And somehow I got 2 sisters. We're not sure if there was a relationship there. And my dad got this great job in Florida, in Cape Canaveral, Florida, for NASA. And so we moved there. And one Saturday night, we're driving down the coast, Saturday morning, and I said, let's have ice cream. And my parents laughed a lot and said no. And I said, wait a minute, king for the day. And they laughed some more, and I stopped asking. And we lived in Cape Canaveral for about 6 years, and we never had any contact with our family in Rhode Island. Either side. And Dad got a job in Houston, and so we moved to Houston. And at the end of my first school year in Houston, my dad met me at school and picked me up with my 2 sisters and drove us to Rhode Island and explained he needed some time with Mom. He'd pick us up when school started again. Yeah. So here's a bunch of people I don't remember, all being nice to me and saying nice things, and a day or 2 goes by, and a little old man pulls up in a little old car, and he beeps the horn and he waves at me. And I'm like, who that? And my aunt whispers in my ear, that's your Pipe. His wife is Mime. They're your dad's father. They're your dad's father and mother. He's going to take you somewhere special. You should go with him. So I got in the car, and we went to Fenway Park. And every game that we could make, we made that summer. It was the summer of 1975. It was the summer of some of the best players ever, Freddie Lynn and Jimmy Rice, and I had a blast. I learned everything I needed to know about baseball. I learned about the Green Monster, the American League, and the evil Yankees. And then my dad showed up somehow. And he said, get in the car, we're leaving. And I'm like, whoa, the Red Sox are doing really well this year. I think they're going to make the playoffs. And he took me home. And they did make the playoffs. And after every game, Grandpa called me. And then they made the World Series. And they went through all the games of the World Series. They made it to Game 7 and lost. And that was a sad phone call from Grandpa. And then we got a sadder call from Grandpa in the off season. And that's that Mime passed away. And that was really, really sad. And I didn't think anything could make me happy from that. And then Grandpa called in July of 1976 and said, I'm getting on a plane. And my mom and I met him at the airport on July 9th, 1976. And he put his hand on my cheek when he got off the plane. And he said, I understand the National League plays here. It was a long time ago, y'all. So July 9th, 1976, we get in the car. Just he and I go to the Astrodome. We park the car. He's going to pass out from heat stroke at 104 degrees. We get into the stadium. He sings the Canadian national anthem because it's the Montreal Expos who are playing the Astros. And he sings it in French. Somebody hits a home run on an even-numbered minute. They give him free beer because of this. Some guys get up and leave the front row, so we get seats right on the front row over first base. And then Larry Dierker fouls a ball off. He's the pitcher that night. And Grandpa holds his hands up and catches it and looks at it, never having caught one before, and just hands it to me. And I'm holding that ball because it's the top of the ninth now with 2 outs, and Dierker hasn't allowed a hit. And he throws the next pitch, and we're right there on first base, and the ball goes zooming up the line on the ground. And Bob Watson fields it, and he starts jogging into first base. Dierker is 29 years old. He's been playing 12 years. He is on first base going, "Throw me the ball, Bob." And I can hear it because I'm so close. Bob tags the bag. Dierker's still yelling at him. He's just thrown a no-hitter. My grandpa's never seen one. I'm holding the ball, and I realize it's his turn to be king for the day. Thank you.